The conversation around episode 9 of Yellowstone's 4th season is rightly around the argument between John Dutton and his daughter Beth.
Goddamn, Beth, I never thought I'd feel this way about you before, but you've really disappointed me, honey.
Yeah, he used the D word, and did that just feel like a knife twist for anyone else? It sent Beth off on an emotional path we've never seen her take before. I mean, he more or less asked his ever-loyal daughter to move out. Do you think it'll stick? I'm Billy Dukes, and I know Yellowstone has surprised us plenty, but I feel that much like Teeter getting the boot earlier this season, this drama is going to sort itself out nice and neatly before season 4 ends. I also think it set into motion a chain of events that's going to spell doom for one key character. Here's the scene to remember. Once again, I added time codes to all the key points of this video in the description section, so if you're not here for my teasy ways, just go ahead and fast forward. I won't mind. But come back so you don't miss a thorough explanation of why Jamie's real dad, Garrett, hates John so much, and what's up with Kayce, Mo, and the wolf. Plus, this quick exchange that, no joke, made my wife burst into tears.
If you ask me to wait, I'll wait.
Wait for me.
Subscribe, thumbs up this video, do all the things, and let's begin. Episode 9 was titled No Such Thing as Fair, and that was more than just a line of dialogue between John Dutton and Carter as they overlooked Buffalo Valley during a bonding moment. That was a fascinating scene that I'll explore a little bit more during this week's Dutton Rules podcast episode. You can find the links to that in the description section. Who the next sheriff will be was as big of a topic during episode 10 of Dutton Rules, and this week we learned it's Bill Ramsey, and he's not a true Dutton ally.
Well, things will be different with me in charge.
New rules, huh?
Still the old rules, but now they'll be enforced.
Ramsey played a bit role in Season 2, Episode 9. That's the one where Jimmy's granddad gets killed, Jamie learns that he's going to be a father, Beth defends Monica at the store, and Tate gets kidnapped. Yeah, easy for a role player to get lost there, but pay attention to him, because without a true friend in that position, Team Dutton is a little bit weaker. I mean, he was kind of right when he says that the old sheriff, Donnie Haskell, was...
Donnie was a gambling addict and an alcoholic who only protected and served the highest bidder.
But he was our gambling addict and alcoholic who protected and served the highest bidder. By the way, the actor is Rob Kirkland, and like the guy who played the old sheriff, he too has a role on Taylor Sheridan's Mayor of Kingstown. So, don't take the over on his lifespan either. This was a quiet but pivotal scene for the full story arc of the show, and to be honest, that's what this episode was all about. You sorta had to squint to make out what was truly important versus what was just good entertainment. For example, midway through, John Dutton and Garrett Randall have a confrontation that's really informative. Garrett describes spending 30 years in prison and quietly adds,
"You could have told the truth. You could have told them what she'd become."
She became what you made her.
I've spent a season and a half trying to figure out why Garrett hated John so much. It would seem he should be grateful for raising Jamie, right? I mean, Jamie's a Harvard graduate lawyer. He should have been dead as a baby. But instead there's this boiling kettle of resentment because John could have kept Garrett out of prison. He could have testified on his behalf that Jamie's birth mom was a drug addict, but he didn't, so Garrett went to jail. I think this doubles down on the theory that Jamie's birth mom is a relative of either John's or his late wife's. It could be a Dutton sister. What do you think? Are they related? Add a comment below or email staff@tasteofcountry.com to get the conversation started. The story has to be told, right? The other end of this drama is that Jamie kicked his dad out graciously. The old man volunteered to leave, knowing his record would torpedo his son's chance to be governor, so now he's just kind of out there living feral, which is terrifying as we approach the season 4 finale. John, by the way, still has no idea that Garrett tried to kill him, which we learned during the first tense scene between him and Beth. He thinks it's Terrell Higgins, played by our boy Bruno Amato. Hi, Bruno!
He attacked us to send a message to rival gang members that he wasn't weak, that we didn't destroy him. He's an animal trying to convince other animals he's still strong.
This fight between father and daughter was long overdue, and both got a few punches in. Both were right, honestly. Beth is right to call out her dad for behaving recklessly and selfishly and simultaneously asking his family to fight for his life and values. This moment was particularly powerful.
You will risk your life for strangers, but what are you risking to find the man who fucking did this, Dad?
John was right by reminding Beth they kill wolves not sheep. Specifically, he's talking about Summer Higgins, who's facing life in prison for doing what Beth said. John is not pleased, which led to this.
Goddamn, Beth, I never thought I'd feel this way about you before. But you've really disappointed me, honey.
Oh, that stings. He ends up telling her she should find a new place to live, which feels like a knockout blow. I personally think John is way overreacting here, especially just a couple of episodes ago he was going on about how lonely he was and begging Beth to come live with him. To understand what happens next, you need to go way back to episode 7 of season 1, titled A Monster Among Us. This is the one that opens up with the tourists and the bear, but it's also the one where Walker teaches Beth how to ride a horse. It's a really great scene. 2 episodes later, though, they share a hot kiss, and the insinuation is that it leads to much more. But, and this is important, Rip tells Beth he doesn't care who she sleeps with, he just cares about her. Of course, Walker and Rip fight 2 episodes later, so maybe he wasn't being totally honest there and some hostility remained. The mistake Rip makes during this most recent episode is that when Beth asks him to come argue with her dad with her,
Shall we?
Not on your life, sweetheart.
yeah, dude, you gotta go. You gotta go if for no other reason that when she's broken, she runs to you, not the singing cowboy asking for a sad song to cry to. That's exactly what happened, and Walker plays her a song called Hallelujah from actor Ryan Bingham's catalog. Rip sees it, and we get the door close. Ooh, Walker's in big trouble. And once again, it's not really his fault. In season 1, he wasn't around long enough to know that Beth was Rip's girl, and honestly, he gives some great horse riding tips during that scene. He also didn't know about Lloyd and Laramie, and he didn't know that Rip and Beth were fighting. The actor seems to acknowledge as much in this BTS clip.
I felt like Walker kind of was going in this other direction, and then all of a sudden he gets kind of pulled back into that triangle of Beth and Rip, and, you know, I don't know, to be honest, I don't want to get on Rip's bad side too often. Things are starting to go pretty good, you know, so I hope he doesn't get too upset.
Frankly, I don't like his odds in the season finale. I mentioned the Ryan Bingham song, so here are the others from this episode. When we see Jimmy at the rodeo, it's a song called Javelina by Red Shahan. A moment later, when Jimmy is longing for that life again, it's Cody Johnson's Dear Rodeo. And finally, during the diner scene with John and Garrett, if you listen closely, you'll hear country duo Honey County and a song called Chess. Here's a clip.
You're playing checkers and I'm playing chess.
Speaking of Jimmy, this was a big Jimmy episode. He's coming back to the Yellowstone, y'all, which is something we speculated would happen on the Dutton Rules podcast recently. Basically, he graduated cowboy school at the 4-6s, so he's coming back. All that 4-6s drama led to this moment. It's great news, unless your name is Emily. I fell really hard for this couple, so seeing them getting ripped apart really stings, but then Jimmy pays her one last visit, and we get...
Keep your word. And come back to me. If you ask me to wait, I'll wait.
Wait for me.
Oh, I'm not joking. It's like I was sitting next to a sprinkler system set on a timer. My wife just started pouring tears, and if I'm being honest, well, I'm not going to be honest, but it was a great scene. I'm Team Emily all the way, although a showdown with old girl Mia is coming very soon. Be right back. Gonna go pop some corn for that moment. Thumbs up this video if you loved this love story too, and take a minute to guess how season 4 will end. So many possibilities. There was a great scene with Carter near the end of this episode. Basically, he steals the show at the card table and takes everyone's money. Rip even smiles and laughs with pride. I don't think we've seen that before. Teeter hurls all sorts of obscenities at him that I can't include here at the risk of getting demonetized, but she says it in sort of that Teeter voice that we love, and Carter responds with,
What's wrong with her?
What do you mean?
She bought off her tongue or something?
I'm gonna drop a link in the description to actor Jen Landon talking about that scene. It turns out Carter's real life mom was just off screen, and Jen Landon was trying to horrify her with obscene language. Well played, Teeter. Well played. At the same video, you'll find actor Mo Brings Plenty talking about the scene with Kayce and his inner wolf. The ceremony they set up for that scene was spot on, he says, to what real native tribes do. He's done it. The idea is 4 days and 4 nights in the cold, alone, with no food or water, and you sort of boil your thoughts down to your inner essence. Kayce learns he sees the wolf because he is the wolf. And I love this authenticity from Yellowstone. As far as the show goes, we need to believe he's going to be learning something that'll affect episode 10 next week. He's told to ask the wolf for a vision. A real basic way to understand this is to say that the wolf is his spirit animal, but it really goes much deeper than that. Like Jimmy in season 4, Kayce is near the end of his transformative journey. Look for a changed man as season 5 debuts. On that note, do we really need to wait a year for season 5? I mean, I've got so much more to talk about so long after this series of videos wraps, but we'll take the conversation over to the Dutton Rules podcast. The focus is going to be on Yellowstone and 1883, and we'll continue through at least February. Find links in the corner, and be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and tap the thumbs up button if you appreciate the analysis. Questions? Email me, staff@tasteofcountry.com. I'm Billy Dukes for Taste of Country. Thanks for watching.